Hello everyone, Angelina Sparkling Deva, and I'm back with another pick a card reading. This one is on love. It's the reading that I was talking about during the previous one. I'm doing this with my new love oracle cards, and I've been playing around with them a little bit, so I really am impressed with them. I like them a lot. But this is the first real reading that I'm gonna do with it, so I hope that they resonate with you and that you like the deck as well. Let's see. So this is about love. We're gonna look at what awaits you in your love life. So this is really for singles, right? So what you can expect to come your way. And that doesn't mean to say he's gonna be there this year or next week. Can be that you first have to go through a couple of other relationships or connections before you actually meet that one great person, right? But, well, whatever, we're going to see with the cards what they have to say. We're also briefly going to look into why a previous connection went wrong, and also what spirit actually had wanted with that for you, why it happened in a way, right? It doesn't mean to say that all these connections, these past relationship was meant to be per se, but we're just going to look into that, why it went wrong and what the possibilities of it were, etc. That's briefly, because we're focusing on what awaits you, right? That's much better, much nicer, more positive. Was there something else? No. You have, that. If you haven't haven't got a past connection just yet, then skip these first three cards, please. Then then these are not for you. Then just go to the only take from your set the bit on what is awaiting you. All right. That's what I wanted to say. And now we're going to start. We have three options, three crystals. I will stick the cards in front of these crystals in a second. So you can also feel the cards from your deck, one card from your deck. To the left we have strawberry quartz at this point. Then in the middle we have a clear rock quartz flame from Brazil. And then here we have a pink, is absolutely gorgeous pink ocean jasper. I had to think of it, of the English word. It's if you know what ocean jasper looks like, you will likely go like, no, that can't be ocean jasper. It is ocean jasper from Madagascar. It's totally unusual. I have two other pieces, free forms, also these amazing colors. It's just unbelievable. I don't like the regular ocean jasper at all. That's the usually more greenish with these white circles, and I never liked that so much. I haven't got that at all either because of that. But then I saw these, and these have a different vibration as well. I'm not going to say higher, although I do think they do have a higher vibration. They have a different vibration than regular ocean jasper. Anyhow, enough about the crystals. Yeah, I'm not so about crystals, you can tell. Just feel, choose, and I'm going to put the cards there as well. Hang about. Always have to move the camera. Because it doesn't fit otherwise. Let's see, that's for numbers 1. This is the numbers 2. And then we have the card for, I'll move it over, hang about, so you can see, for the numbers 3. There's your card. So, I can't help the light. It's always sodding around with the light. I can't help that. Anyhow, just feel, take your time, and to choose, because they're all different, right? So you just choose one set, and I'm going to start the reading. Numbers 1, your first 2 cards, and aren't they beautiful? These cards. I really like them. I'm so happy with them. This is for you about a past relationship if you had that. If you didn't have that, then you just have to wait for the other part to start, right? Or skip ahead a little bit. Let's see, what had Spirit meant for this previous connection? It's more like what was possible with that connection. We have challenges. All true soul connections involve challenges that can be overcome together. That's what that card is about. That if you have a bump in the road, you hit a challenge, an obstacle, whatever, that you then are able as a couple to work through that. So you overcome it and you actually grow stronger and closer as a couple and as an individual often as well because of that. So it means that you work together, that you can communicate together, you can overcome things together, etc., etc. And marriage is a marriage of souls, is a union of two divine counterparts blending together. So there was a very good potential for this connection to grow into something lasting, right? Because we see that here clearly, but it was optional in a way, right? It depended on the two people involved, you and the other person. And you had to learn to work together in case of obstacles and challenges. And since that connection is a previous one, it didn't last, right? That likely didn't work out. So for some reason or other, you didn't communicate, you didn't work together, you couldn't overcome challenges. And so then there was also not the marriage then, right? Because marriage speaks of two souls who want to make a lifelong commitment. If it's done right, the right way, of course, there's a lot of people marrying. Usually when you're younger as well, I think, when you are not so fully aware of that. But it's also not just marriage, it's also the like hand fasting, and we have here in the country also registered partnership, which comes down to marriage, but you also have to, it's official. So it comes down to the same thing. It's a two souls wanting to make a lifelong commitment to one another. But if that couple is not working together well, for whatever reason, right? To overcome challenges, they don't communicate well, and they don't. Then you also don't reach that stage that you both want to commit. Maybe one did and the other didn't, or maybe both wanted to, but it just didn't work out, right? And in that sense, it could have happened, but it happening was not cast in concrete. A spirit offered you the opportunity, it gave you the option as a couple, as two people, but it was up to you to make it work. And there was a learning curve involved in this, right? And maybe this was a learning curve to learn to do that as a couple, to overcome challenges, to talk about it, to work together. Oftentimes you see that problems can drive a couple apart, but you should actually, especially then, think of each other, of you as a team, not as opposing forces, really, right? And that's where a lot of relationships go wrong. So in that sense, it was basically up to you, and either one or both didn't pick up on that learning curve, and then it was destined to end. It just didn't work out. And then we go to why did it go wrong? Then we have this card, we have connection. Your connection is eternal and unbreakable. There was a very deep bond, and it is possible that sensing that depth scared one or both of you to the point of leaving the connection. right? You can be so overwhelmed. Some people are so overwhelmed by that it just scares the hell out of them, right? And the connection itself is lasting because it says that here it's eternal, it's unbreakable. And it is, in that sense, possible that you or the other person or your ex, right, and or both of you can still feel that connection after the breakup still. There is also an aspect in here that it will work out in divine timing because of this lasting eternal connection. But that is not for everyone. That might be for a few. So do not assume that this is the case, as it really is not for everyone. And I don't want to get your hopes up, right? And even if you are meant to come back together in divine timing, you will have to continue now with healing and moving on and learning and falling in love again with someone else and having another relationship, etc., because it didn't fall apart for no reason, right? If you come back together right now as the same people, then the chances are very high that it will fall apart again. And then you will be hurt again. So that's not going to bring you anything. So, and really bear in mind that that coming together again, that aspect will be for a few, not for most of you. So please do not count on it for the reasons I just mentioned, right? Because I don't put yourself and your life on hold just to live in hope, right? And just move on and don't assume that it's going to. And oftentimes when you're honest to yourself, you just know whether you will be back together or not, whether, like I have had such a connection myself, and I don't want to come back together. I just really don't want that. I know he wants to come back together in a way that, because that connection is unbreakable between us as well, and I know he feels that too, because we've had contact a few months after breaking up, right? So he told me that. I know he still feels that way. And I do think he at some point hopes to come back together, but I don't want to. For me, it's really done. This life is done. It's over. So even when a bond is eternal, that doesn't mean to say you're going to come back together this life, right? On a higher level, on a soul level, you are still connected. And that will remain that way. Anyhow, let's move on to the next few cards. All right, I will just do these 2 by 2 because I can't get them in one go. And so we'll do it this way. First 2, we have love and we have union. And we have also got commitment and rejoice. So this is looking really good. You may have lingering fears after what happened before with the other connection, but love conquers all, and it will help you to overcome these fears and to heal if there's still things that need healing. And with union, the union of divine soul counterparts is a miraculous event that begins when you least expect it. This could be also twin flame, this with the infinity symbol. It doesn't have to be, but it is possible, right? But there is this unexpected thingy, and I think that happens quite a lot, that when you just don't expect it, or you don't expect it to come anymore, you've given up, and then all of a sudden, bang, there they are, right? But anyhow, this wonderful love connection that awaits you will show up when you don't expect it, right? And that can also be, it can be that you've just basically kind of given up on it, but it can also be in a place where you do not expect it. So maybe like you go to the supermarket and all of a sudden, bang, there is this person, right? And you would never expect to meet someone in the supermarket. Although it can happen, I have heard of people meeting in the supermarket. It's just amazing. Anyhow, so that's also a possibility. But there is this aspect of surprise, of not expecting it, one way or another. The infinity symbol says that it is a lasting connection with a lot of depth and growth. Because at some point when I was, the infinity symbol is my power symbol. And I couldn't really work out why. I have no reason why. It's not that I chose it. It just is, And so I meditated on it a little bit. And all of a sudden it was like, well, in a way, you could just visualize that being here as well with these lines that you see in the background. That if you go like this, make that figure 8, and then you move up to another tier, and you move up again to another tier, and up again to another tier, and it's not flat. It's three-dimensional, multi-dimensional. I don't know, and because of that. It offers growth and it offers depth, and it's not boring. It's not flat. It's not like you go around in this pattern and that's it, right? No, it's got much more to it. It's got tiers, depth, levels. So that's what I meant with these figure 8s that you can see in color here. They're basically supposed to be the reflection, I think. Yeah, so a wonderful relationship. Let's see, where are we now? Because I have to put in the other cards too, of course. Rejoice, and we have commit. Commitment is an important factor to achieve a successful relationship. Well, of course, if one doesn't commit, or neither, well, you don't have a relationship, really, do you? The commitment is part of that. It's without commitment, you've got nothing, really. You can have a sex relationship, but that's not what we're looking at here, right? We're looking at a love relationship. And so both will commit in this situation. So that means there is no reason to fear that this person is going to walk out on you. And maybe that happened with the other one, or you walked out on them. But it is also possible that they walked out on you because they didn't want to commit or whatever, for whatever reason. And you do not have to fear that is going to happen with this person. So you can just relax and rejoice and just totally embrace this loving connection and enjoy it. So this is waiting for you. This is waiting for you. So if you are desperate or thinking like, well, I'm never going to find the right person, well, you will, right? And of course, not if you're going to stay indoors, or not if you're going to be moping around and just wait for them to knock on your door. It takes a more proactive approach, of course, right? But that makes sense as far as I'm concerned. So this is what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it makes you happy. And because I want to add that quickly before I'm gone, there are cards in here as well, in this deck, that are about like, that it's not such a positive, happy ending thingy, right? And your cards were all positive. Okay, so I just wanted to add that. It's not a deck with only lovey-dovey cards in it. So, yeah, that's really good, isn't it? You will get a wonderful relationship in the end. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Number 2, yes, we're recording. We're gonna first look at the cards, 2 cards for your past relationship. And if you haven't got one, then you just, you skip this part, or just don't take these messages in at least, So we have let go and respect. sometimes it's best to let go and let the universe work things out in divine timing and respect your relationships. Well, this is already pretty clear, right? This is about what, the meaning of it. Well, why did I get involved in that and that kind of thing? Well, the let go card clearly says that it was good that this connection has ended. It wasn't meant to be, and it wasn't meant to last either. And respect plays a big part in any connection, really, but it played a big part in this one for sure, because that card comes up, right? So there was either a lack of respect from both towards the other, or from one towards the other. And I actually feel that both are possible. So it could be that you didn't have a lot of respect for your partner, or you lost that, or the other way around. I feel there's a group for each of these options. And so both is possible. And I know that you can lose respect for a partner when they do something that really hurts you. And for me, this is not my set, but for me, when I lose respect for my partner, that's basically the end of the relationship. And then that doesn't mean to say that I'm then ready to leave that relationship, to end that relationship, but in essence, it's the end of the relationship. The moment I lose respect, I need to be able to respect my partner. I need to be able to look up to my man, right? And I think it works the other way around as well. A man also wants to, if you don't respect someone else in any connection, then you can't really be together. You can't be friends then either, right? Without respect, it's so important. And it can also be an indication that there is a lack of self-respect. The stupid thing is, if you don't have enough self-respect, other people usually don't have respect for you either, or they lose it. So that can be a thing as well, but you will know that yourself. In any case, it's good that this connection has ended, because there is this possibility that you didn't get respected and were taken for granted, because that's what you often get then, or the other way around. In any case, it's not fulfilling, and so it's good that this ended, even though it might have hurt, and and if you're still having difficulty with this, then look at just in a neutral way a bit what went wrong, what you didn't like, and how you would like that to be in a new connection. You know, what you do like, what you do need. And that way you can actually learn from something, even if it wasn't such a good connection or not anymore. Right? And why it went wrong, we have this card, we have intense. And the intensity of a true soul connection includes great highs and lows. I don't agree with that really, but okay. I don't think that's the message for this reading anyway, not really. There was intensity, and it became too much. And like highs and lows occur in all connections really, right? And sometimes more in one than the other. But I feel that this connection had too many wobbles, that they were too difficult to overcome as well. And looking at this image, it's like a broken mirror. I feel that at some point something broke inside of you, and that was beyond repair. And basically that was just it. And that doesn't mean to say a really, really bad thing that, that caused this. It could be, for instance, something like losing respect for someone else. And at some point, it's the last, what's that? The last straw on the camel's back? I think that's the right one, yeah. And then it's just, something just gives. Something has to give at some point, and then it's just done, and you can't repair it. When a mirror breaks, you can't glue it back together. It's just it. You have to get a new mirror, And I also get a strong feeling with this and I think that's for most of you, because I get goosebumps all over now. And that usually means that I hit something, that I'm spot on with something. It feels that the parting was not friendly, wasn't good. Like some people part as friends and then it's still sad and all that stuff, but at least you are not screaming at each other, etc. It's in that sense, it's friendly. But in your case, it wasn't, and it was either very, very sad, or with a lot of upheaval and to do and conflict and I don't know, maybe name calling and all that shit. It wasn't a nice breakup. That's what I get from this. Yeah. So now we're going to look at what you will, let's see the question, what awaits you now in love. Let's see if I can get them all in. I've got 3 cards for you. I don't think so. No, it doesn't work. These are really quite wide, these cards. And I can't move the camera any closer because then it's right up against me. It's really... Hang on, we're just going to do this. And then in a minute I'm going to move it over to the last card. We have feelings, true love, and the last one is embrace. What awaits you is a very healing and soothing connection. One in which you can really come home. And it feels like a long-lasting connection as well. And it will grow over time. So it's not going to be like this fiery, passionate, that kind of click and connection, and we're moving in next week and all that stuff. This is not like that. And oftentimes that's good, because you can also move too fast, right? And things that get alight quickly might also get doused quickly. So it's just not always handy. And this will grow over time. And the click might be there from the word go. And I actually think for most of you it will be. That click, that knowing that this is it. This is the one for me, right? But the part after that is slower. And it feels like that is exactly what you need and what feels good to you. Possibly after that other relationship. Maybe you don't want to rush into a connection. Maybe you did that then and it didn't work out, right? And going slower helps you build trust, and it also repairs that sense of not being respected. Because there's this funny thing, I'm not certain if I'm the only, I know I'm not the only one, because I've talked to other women about this. I would actually totally respect it, love it, when a man says, when you're kissing and hugging and you have to go indoors and they have to go home. And in a way, deep down, you actually would really like to take him indoors and, and have the hot, steamy, what I mean, right? But there are moments where you want that, but it is still too soon to go there. And if you then have a man who is so strong, because I suppose it will take quite something from a man when he's kissing a willing woman in a way, right? And if the man then would say, no, let's wait, let's take it slow, because I respect you too much to do this now, or something like that. Oh my God, I would melt. I would melt on the spot. So taking it slow can help you with healing from disrespect, right? And that's good, really good to feel that way, because you might be in such a situation. It's just an example, okay? I'm not saying this is going to happen to you verbatim. It's just an example. But in that case, when you go indoors, you might really be like, ah. But deep down, you will feel cherished, you will feel respected and really loved and seen, is great. So yeah, and the funny thing is that the feelings card also says take time out to explore the deep emotions you're experiencing. So in other words, don't rush into it. Just take a time out, right? And let's see if I had anything in particular with that last one, the embrace. Yeah, embrace what destiny has in store for you. Isn't that beautiful? This is a solid connection. And you also won't have any doubts about that, nor about this partner. This is really a good connection. And yeah, I mean, look at the card in the middle, true love. Right? And this will bring you all that you have wanted, which can be anything, right? Because we're all different. For some, it might be marriage. For others, it might be hand fasting. For others, it might be a family. Whatever it is that you really want, what you dream about, that's what you will get with this connection. It's absolutely wonderful. So this is what I have for you, numbers 2. I hope you enjoyed it and liked it. And if it resonated, especially that first part, because this you don't know yet, of course, and the first part you do, then I'd love to hear that in the comment section, because there were quite a few very, very specific things in there. So anyhow, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Right, number 3, your first 2 cards about your past relationship. If you haven't had one yet, then just skip this part, just forget about it, go have a cup of coffee or something, Then these first few cards are not for you. Simple as that. We have Labyrinth and we have Learn. Labyrinth says, even when you feel lost, there's always a way through the labyrinth. And well, I guess, but it really depends on the one who built the labyrinth, right? Maybe he built it so there is no exit. Anyhow, never mind. Let's not go into that. Learn. Let love show you how to learn from each other. Now, the why were you in that connection, or just what happened in that connection? That's what we're going to look at with these cards. And I get the very, very strong feeling that you overstayed your welcome in this connection. Meaning that you knew at some point that it wasn't really working anymore. You weren't really happy anymore. You didn't connect anymore, but you stayed anyway. That's what I mean, that kind of thing, right? And so, like I said, at some point you didn't connect and click anymore, and because of that, it became difficult to work things out. The connection was lost. The love began to fade because of that at some time. And yet, you didn't leave. And I think that happens a lot, that we stay in a relationship too long. These days people say, and usually that's older people, that we are too easy with relationships and we just leave them and get into the next one and leave them and get... I do not agree with that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But you just stay too long and then you begin to feel lost, like that labyrinth, right? And you didn't see your way out anymore. It can also have been a connection where you couldn't leave right away for practical reasons. Like, for instance, not having another place to stay, or not having a job so you could, pay for your own keep yet. And there can be practical reasons why you couldn't leave right away. That's also possible. I do think you could learn a lot in this connection, because we have the Learn card here, right? And normally the aspect of learning from one another, right? And can help to overcome things and to grow in a relationship and as a couple. But somehow this feels like something like a connection then that started good, with great chemistry, but it also faded. So in essence, it was just a mismatch in a way. Like two people, yeah. Sometimes that happens, right? You meet someone, and you hit it off, and it's wonderful. It's great, and it's these opposites attract things often as well, I think, and the opposites then at first seem so cute and charming and endearing, but after a while it actually starts to bloody annoy you. And then you find out that you are just too different, and that these small differences, these small opposites, actually become big issues. Even though they often are small things, but they become big issues, and then you just grow apart, kind of thing, and with that, a love fades and it just doesn't work anymore. And yeah, then you're still together, but that's then basically it. So I think that sort of thing is what happened in this connection. Anyhow, we're going to look at the next card, which is why did it go wrong? Well, that's always a complex story, of course. We're just going to have one card to quickly then move into what awaits you, the positive, the new, the wonderful. We have, why did it go wrong? We have guilt. Well, I'm not certain if this is why it went wrong. It could be. Could also be the other stuff that that I talked about with the first two cards. But somehow guilt does play a part in what went wrong, and that can be from their side or yours, and maybe even both. That's also possible. But I feel with this set that for some of you, and this is not for everyone, all right, for some of you, it was a third-party situation or cheating. And when that's not the case, then there can be guilt to just split up, right? I've been there myself as well, to be honest. With my then husband, I felt so guilty. Kind of like, because I wanted to divorce, and I felt so guilty to break up with my husband and to break up my family. I felt like, who am I to do that? Right? And if I was overcome by guilt. Actually, that was the worst time of my life, I think. It was horrible. So guilt is a god-awful emotion, a god-awful vibration to be in. I think it's one of the lowest we can have. I don't think it's the lowest, but it's very close to. And it sabotages. That's the nasty thing of it, right? Often we don't really even see it, but it's there. And it sabotages what we do and what we think we can do, what we deserve, etc., etc. Is this silent, sneaky thing, guilt. So that's also a possibility that there wasn't any cheating or third party or whatever, but that you were affected like that by guilt. And guilt doesn't lead to anything. So if you still have guilt about something, I remember I was talking with a partner at some point about something I felt guilty about, and and he simply said to me, and I felt so awful, by the way, telling him what I'd done, because I felt so guilty, so bad. And he said, yeah, but you did the best you could. And I said, no, because I could have done this or that. And he said, no, you couldn't. Emotionally, you couldn't at the moment. So you did do the best you could. And for me, that was such a relief, like, oh my God. Oh, you're right. So please, if you indeed have this guilt thing, see if you can come to a similar sense of relief and forgive yourself, right? Because guilt will lead nowhere. It'll just drag you down. And I'm only telling you about my own situations because as an example, right? So maybe stuff of that resonates with you. That's the only reason. Okay, we have 3 cards. We have yin yang. This is what awaits you, your last 3 cards. We have yin yang, honor, and then the last one, I'll move it over in a second, to enlightenment. So also 3 beautiful cards. And as you've seen now with your set, this deck does not just have lovey-dovey cards, right? We also have guilt, we also have labyrinth, we also have let go, etc., etc. So, but you have 3 beautiful cards of what awaits you. So that's wonderful, okay? Absolutely great. Could have been a negative card as well, right? And 3 beautiful cards. Yin Yang, like the Yin Yang symbol, twin flames contain an aspect of each other's character within themselves. Honor your loved one, and you will notice your relationship becoming stronger. And enlightenment, with enlightenment, there is no separation. We recognize that we are one with the divine. That's more of an inside job this time, right? Enlightenment. Anyhow, from all the sets, because there were 3 sets in this reading, right? I feel that you are the ones that got hurt by what happened in that past connection the most. And it may take you quite some time to get ready for this beautiful connection, because this is a beautiful connection. But what awaits you, is just beautiful, right? But it might take you some time to get ready for that. And even though it's going to be beautiful, I do not see you jumping in any connection, really, just like that, until you know and feel that everything is really okay and has a very good chance of lasting, right? So you won't, for instance, move in with someone really fast. Maybe you did that, maybe in that past connection, and then you regretted it, right? But you're not going to do that this time. You're not going to move that fast. You need to feel cherished and loved and honored, right? And that helps you heal and recover. And it's almost like that your cup is empty in that sense. And of course you have to fill your own cup with self-love and self-respect and self-esteem and so on and so forth. But maybe we can, for this reading, say, well, you have a cup for self-love and you have a cup for receiving love from a partner. And that cup, I feel, is empty. And that needs to be filled up. So it's like you're really craving this, the honoring, the cherishing, the loving, receiving that from a partner. But then, if that's the case, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't forget that the other person will also need to feel that way, right? They also need to feel loved and adored. Men usually would like to be adored. Women love to be cherished. It's slightly different. And so as long as you do not forget to reciprocate, then there's no problem, right? And I do think you will come to trust again and then open up, and will be able to reach out emotionally to the other person, right? And it just might take a little bit of time. And this one, the right one, will not give you reason to doubt or be afraid, etc. Because there's a very deep connection, right? We have that yin-yang here, which could even be twin flame. It can also be a very high soul connection. Could also be twin flame connection. In any case, it's a very good connection, okay? And I'm just saying that because I don't want you to latch on to this whole twin flame hype thing. Could be, but it doesn't have to be in order to be a very good, lasting relationship and makes you happy, of course. And I do feel a lasting connection here, right? And the funny thing is, I get there is light at the end of the tunnel with this. And so maybe you will have to go through a few more connections that are not quite right, not well in the sense of this one, that aren't this one, but that those connections, those relationships will help you They will prepare you. They will get you ready for this connection. And oftentimes that's a good thing as well, right? We never want that. We never want to hear that. We just want to hear the next one is going to be this person, is going to be the right one. We're going to stay together for the rest of our lives. But sometimes we are just not ready for that yet. And if we were then to meet, it would go wrong. Now, wouldn't that suck big time to meet the right partner for you, the perfect partner for you at the wrong time when you're not ready and when they are possibly also not ready? And it falling apart. That's horrible. So then you're better off, even though you might think it sucks, you're better off then in that sense to have one or maybe two other relationships, dates, whatever. So you really are ready, get ready for this. And maybe that's to do with this card, with the enlightenment. I already said just now that I feel that this is mostly an inside job. Enlightenment, with enlightenment, there is no separation. We recognize that we are one with the divine. So not you and your partner, no, you and the divine. Right? Meaning you have grown a lot. You are at a very high vibration. So quite possibly, this is going to be a twin flame connection. But you have to be ready for that, otherwise it will fall apart. Because twin flame connections can still be quite freaking intense and scary. And not scary because you're bad persons or whatever. No, but scary because the connection is so freaking deep. That can be overwhelming. You have to be ready for that. So that, you might not like it, you might hate me for saying that. Maybe you will have to go through one or maybe even a few other relationships. And I feel those will be short relationships, not like 5 years or 10 years or something. I feel that these will be shorter relationships, but they will then get you ready for this. It actually feels quite good, even though I would totally understand if you're also pissed off about having to go through these other connections. Anyhow, I do hope you enjoyed it, and this is what awaits you. This is what is there for you. If you do the work so you get there with the enlightenment, etc., etc., right? I'd love to hear in the comments section how this resonates for you, by the way. And then I'm going to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!